Hi everyone and welcome to VR Chef. Before we start, the first thing we need to do is wash our hands because hygiene in the kitchen is very important. And then we can begin with our recipe. Follow me and let's get started. The dish we're preparing today is chocolate brownies with walnuts, and we're going to serve it with homemade banana and creamy caramel ice cream. First, let's have a look at the ingredients. To prepare about a dozen brownies, we're going to need 500 grams of dark cooking chocolate which will melt, 300 grams of butter, about 50 grams of chopped walnuts, 1 tablespoon of fine cornmeal, a splash of rum, a dozen eggs, 300 grams of sugar, and some spray cream and chocolate syrup for decoration. And we're going to start now by melting the chocolate, and we do this by putting it in a bowl and then into the microwave oven. Put it on minimum and stir now and again to stop the chocolate from burning. And now that we finally have the melted chocolate, we're going to repeat the process with the butter. And remember, butter always melts faster than chocolate. So, as you can see, that's it, ready already. And I'm now taking it out of the microwave and you can see the results. Melted butter, ready for our brownies. The next step is to separate the whites from the yolks of 8 of the 12 eggs. In this part of the recipe, we need to make sure that all the bowls or dishes that we're going to use are really extremely clean and dry. And if you watch carefully and pay attention, you'll see this is how to separate whites from yolks. This method obviously takes more time, but if we do this with the right amount of love and care and attention, we'll get the result we want in the end. Now we add 4 whole eggs to the bowl where we previously left the 8 yolks. And then we add 300 grams of sugar. Continue stirring the mixture until all the sugar has dissolved, and then we add 50 grams of chopped walnuts. Now we put the tablespoon of cornmeal into the bowl together with a dash of rum to give it a bit of flavour. Obviously this last ingredient is up to you. You don't have to use rum, you can choose any other drink that you like. Stir everything well together to mix up all the ingredients, and then we can add the butter, which will give the brownies their shine and texture. Finally, add the melted chocolate. Use a spatula to make sure you get all of that chocolate out of the bowl. You don't want to miss any. And you can see this is really starting to take shape now. Mix all the ingredients together until you get a smooth mixture. And now we just need to add the 8 egg whites that we set aside from before, as you remember. But first we have to whip them until they form soft peaks. Now, in order to do this, we're going to use another clean, dry whisk to beat the egg whites, and if we add a pinch of sugar, we'll get there even faster. And here you can see the beaten egg whites all ready to complete the last part of our recipe. And with the help of another clean and dry spatula, we start to slowly fold the beaten egg whites into the chocolate mixture we made before. This is an important part of the recipe, and we need to do it very carefully. We mix it like this. We fold them in like so, using a very slow rolling motion. This is to avoid the egg whites falling and spoiling our dessert. And after doing this, we now finally have our brownie mix ready to pour into the silicone moulds and bake. And this is what it should look like. Can you see how nice and shiny the butter makes them? The next step in making our brownies is to preheat the oven, and we're going to preheat the oven now by setting the temperature to 180 degrees centigrade. Once the oven has been preheated, the brownies will only need 17 minutes in the oven to be perfectly baked. So we fill the moulds using a jug, but be careful not to fill them to the brim, since the brownies will rise in the oven. Once all the moulds have been filled and the oven temperature has reached 180 degrees centigrade, we carefully place our brownies into the oven. And now we close the oven door nice and securely, and we're going to leave these to bake inside there for 17 minutes, and that's the time we calculate that they should be nice and ready. I'm going to show you how our brownies are getting on, though we shouldn't really open the oven door during baking, but this way you can get an idea. It's a shame you can't smell how good they are, and they're looking great. They're just going to need another minute or so, so we'll close the door so they don't sink in the middle, and they're ready. We'll turn off the oven then and take out the moulds, being careful not to burn ourselves. Now we have to put all of them onto a serving plate, so I'm going to show you how to remove the brownies from the mould without burning yourself, because they're still hot, and they're still hot because this is how they should be eaten. And now we put the brownies into the centre of the tray, or however you like, and then we brush the surface with chocolate syrup, and we do that like this. Today I've chosen banana and creamy caramel ice cream because they're my favourites, but you can use other flavours of ice cream such as the classic vanilla or walnut or chocolate or strawberry or lemon or whatever you prefer. Very carefully, taking great care and attention because it is really creamy, I'm going to add a couple of scoops of ice cream just like this. Delicious. All we need to do now to finish off is to decorate the plate, and we'll do that with a little bit of spray cream, so we'll just shake it up well and then spray it on. And finally, some classic rolled wafers, and there we have it, the dessert's ready to eat, but I think we should eat it quickly before it melts. And here, you can see the end result. Anyone want to try it?